Hello, who's there?
I'm David from Eastbourne.
Hello, David.
I haven't tuned into your program since that awful one when everybody was just talking about G8, you know, and everybody was sort of arguing on the phone. So I'm glad to say the tempo is slightly quieter this evening.
So you don't like it when they're aroused?
Well, no, I think, you know, everybody was... so few people know what the conference was all on about that there's a lot of misguided people ring in, weren't they? Anyhow, I'm glad to hear you're sort of, you know, light-hearted this evening.
Thank you. Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
Yes. Most of the conversation happens between you two, the sort of wise things that are said, and people that ring in are just quite a lot of nutters ring in, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, you've got the duck, you've got the quacks, and you've got the idiots who say nothing much. So the question to you is, have you got a subject for discussion this evening? Something... Did you sort of name your topics at the beginning?
No, that's not really how the show works. Obviously, sometimes, like that Live 8 show a couple of weeks ago, that topic kind of came up and then sort of took over the whole of the show. But normally we just have a chat and it just sort of goes off on tangents here, there and everywhere, and we'll just talk about whatever anyone wants to talk about.
I see. Because, no, I haven't got anything to talk about. I just thought, you know, it'd be nice for a listener to ring in and sort of say something sensible instead of whacks and say no. You do also get people who just say silly things, don't they?
Well, there's a lot of people with their sensible views aren't.
Because I mean, you two are wise thinking people, but you seem to do most of the talking.
Yes, that's because, like I say, people take yourself for example. You haven't actually got any issues to talk about, and that's good. Because I don't see why you should talk about issues all the time. No, because because you see, Monday to Friday, I mean, there's a lot of listener participation, isn't there? And there are competitions and things to focus them a bit. But I just feel on Saturday night there's no sort of we don't quite know where we're going.
But isn't that the nice thing though, that you've got it all during the week, Monday to Friday, and then on a Saturday you've got something completely different? Wouldn't it be a dull old world if we did exactly the same thing every night of the week? Yeah,
it's just because they have something to focus listeners' attention to, you see.
But what do you hear that's worth hearing?
Anyhow, you just want to talk, I mean, you want to talk about current affairs, really.
Hang on a second, because you're sort of... I don't think you're quite really sort of engaging here, and engagement's what it's all about. I asked a question. What do you hear that's worth listening, and why is it worth listening to?
I just love to hear people's views on the radio.
What views? Tell me some views that you've heard recently that you find interesting. And what about?
Well, I mean, we don't want to talk about the bombings at all, do we?
No, you tell me. I'll just answer the question, because you might have a point. I'm not sure if you do really, but so I challenge you to make your point. What are the things that you hear that you find useful and interesting, and why? See, I suspect that what you actually like is to listen to something that you find expected.
I tune into
the predictable. You like to hear something that you've heard before. You like to hear those same things over again, and there is a certain comfort to be had from routine and the expected.
Yes.
And that's important, and I like that myself as well. But I also like the unexpected.
Okay.
Now you're suggesting that you want something to focus on, so let's have a production meeting, shall we? Go on then. What do you think's a good thing to talk about on a Saturday night that will, to use your word, focus people? Go on.
Well, let's talk about the people next door to me who are still raving with all their windows open and
Nah, too specific.
No good.
Nah. You could generalise it, and you could talk about noise.
Noise, yes.
Yeah, okay, you want to talk about noise?
Yeah, around...
Okay, now answer me this question. Do you suppose you'll actually hear anything about noise that you haven't heard before? No. That's the trouble with issues, trust me. When you talk about issues, broadcasters and members of the public say the same things that you've heard a million times about the bloody issues, and I can't see the point, me.
All right, then.
You tell me what the point is of hearing a discussion about noise. What are you going to hear that you haven't heard already?
All right, then.
Somebody will say noise is disgraceful, keeps me awake. We know all that. What's the point of saying things that people know?
All right, then. Well,
go on, give me another one, then.
All right, you don't want to hear about noisy neighbours, then? Thank you.
No, I didn't say that. What I said was I'd love to talk about noise as long as I would hear something that I haven't heard before about noise.
Okay.
But I have a strong feeling that it's... All right, so you're doing a radio show, right? We're going to do an item about noise, Alison. How are we going to try and handle this?
Well, talking of noise, our next item...
Yes. Okay. Now we get an expert in.
We get an expert in,
We get somebody from the Department of the Environment.
No, it's not noise I'm talking about. It's people who don't think about their neighbours on a Saturday night.
What you're going to hear there that you haven't heard 1,000 times before.
Okay. Well,
but do you like hearing things over that you've heard before? You see, let me explain to you. I used to work once at a TV station, and we used to have a cartoon series called The Shoe People. And we found out that instead of playing all 15 episodes, if we just played the one episode over and over again, children liked it more because they like seeing something that they know.
That's right.
And are you one of those adults who actually likes hearing the same thing over and over again because it sort of makes you feel comfortable with it?
Don't know. It's just that obviously we're not getting over with this discussion, but it'd be lovely.
No, we are actually. We are, because I think the thing is you don't want to commit yourself, do you? Or else you don't know yourself.
Well, my earlier point was there are too many nutters ringing you up, and
no, I don't agree. I like the nutters because I don't know what they're going to say. Shall I be honest with you? I'll be blunt. Yeah. At least people who ring up and make duck noises commit themselves, whereas you haven't said anything that you're going to nail to. You're not going to nail your colours to the mast. Right. I think you're wondering out loud.
I hope I've said more than the duck. Anyway.
You haven't. There's my point. But you've taken a lot longer to say nothing than the duck.
All right, well, I'll just say goodnight to you, and I'll keep listening and hope to be enlightened by the rest of the discussion, then.
You won't. You're going to have to go and listen to another radio station if you want to be enlightened by the discussion. This is not that sort of a show.
I won't be enlightened by listening, then.
No, God knows. Of course you won't.
Right.
But I'll tell you what you do. Go away and listen to a load of other bloody radio stations and see if you can find anything enlightening. All right, and I will give you £100 of my own money if you can genuinely... Now, listen. Listen, I promise that if you can find another radio station where there is something genuinely enlightening, to use your word, going on, genuinely enlightening, okay?
Can I say
and not something that you've heard 1,000,000 times before, I will give you £100 of my own money, friend. I really will, because I don't believe it's going on out there. But
can I tell you?
There are thousands of radio stations pretending to be enlightening and important, and they piss me off, frankly, because they're just pompous and brainless.
Okay, well, Southern Counties Radio, Monday to Friday, is very enlightening.
No, it isn't.
Okay.
No, it isn't.
We'll disagree. Well, I'll say goodnight to you. Thank you very much.
Bye. Goodbye. Thank you very much. I'll say nothing. Dear old fella. Not really. 08459 570057.
Hello, who's on line 1?
Hello.
Hello, who's that?
I'm Julian, and I'm ringing from West Drayton.
Hello, Julian.
The man who is on the phone just then, I'm in the middle of washing the dishes, and he strikes me as a man who's just bound to have a washing up bowl in his sink. And why do people have washing up bowls?
Why do they?
I couldn't agree with you more.
No, I haven't got one.
There's one here at Southern Counties, and it's an issue for me.
Yeah.
No, who does?
I don't know.
Why?
What is the point?
It's a haven for germs.
Yeah.
I know.
What's wrong with the sink? You've got a plug. I need the bowl.
I like this woman.
Why do they sell them, and why are they, and why did they even start? But anyway, that man, God love his soul, was definitely a man who would have, anything. Anyway, I'm going to get back to drying them now.
Thank you, Julian.
Thanks, Julian. Bye-bye.
It's a fine... Now, that was enlightening.
And that was a good point. Why? Why do we have them?
08459 570057.
They're like oven gloves. Whoever uses oven gloves, you buy them.
Occasionally.
No, you don't. You just use a tea towel, surely.
Most of the time, yes, I do.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But there are some things that... It depends on how hot you cook.
Yes,
I sometimes cook very hot.
You can't actually really hold anything properly with them on.
The daftest thing I've ever done, drunk.
Go on.
got back from the pub. It was a Sunday lunchtime session. You know, hair of the dog turns into a sideways.
Oh, yeah.
And I came back and I'd put a casserole in before I went. And it was about 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And I went to the oven. And I got the casserole out. And as I was walking across the kitchen floor with it, I thought, you should really be wearing oven gloves for this, mate. Yeah. And if I didn't drop it, it was 280 degrees centigrade. I placed it on the floor. The lino floor. We won't talk about the daftest thing we've done when we were drunk.
We'll be here all night.
Go to line 5. Hello, line 5.
Hello, who's there?
Hello there.
Hello.
Hello, this is Richard in Crowborough. I've got a question which puzzles me. And I don't know whether, because I know I think they call it thinking outside the box, don't they? And that's what you like. So this is what I'm trying to do by posing this little question. Which is, why do people think that a good way to train a dog to do something is to punish it when it doesn't do it?
I know.
I don't understand the logic of it.
Mad,
Am I mad or are they mad?
I know, it sickens me. Awful, isn't it?
I think so.
You know, it's the same with children, though.
Yeah, I was going to say people do the same with children.
Yeah. And isn't it better to reward a dog or a child for doing the right thing? Aren't they more likely to repeat it if you do it that way around?
We might have to finish this conversation in a second because you're being quite enlightening.
Oh dear.
And I don't want to pay that bloke £100.
No, nor do I.
No, you don't want him to earn £100, do you?
No. Was he supposed to be interesting, though?
I don't know. I think he was like an awful lot of people.
He thought he was, didn't he?
No, he didn't. He thought he was having a pop, actually.
That's the thing I kind of got.
Oh, yeah, yes.
He was trying to have a go at us, but he was trying to do it in a very English way.
Nah.
Oh, right.
No.
He was trying to have a go, but trying to put it in such a way so that he didn't appear to be confrontational.
No, he wants to be fine.
No.
Basically, probably.
Would it be better in Port Slade?
Look, he wanted me fired.
Oh,
and
did he?
He thought he'd get that in at some point somehow. But it's tough. You know.
Yeah.
But if you want somebody fired, just phone me up and say, I wish you know, bog off. That would suit me much better than a really boring round-the-houses conversation about Focus Radio.
Yes. No, well, I don't want you fired. It's fascinating.
It is, isn't it?
It certainly is.
It's not very enlightening, though.
Oh, well, that doesn't matter.
No,
exactly. Want to be enlightened.
I like you.
I like you, too.
Yeah, well, we'll have to go and have a pint sometime.
Okay, then.
Yes, it's me. Nice one. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
That's more like it. Yeah. Bit enlightening, though. That's true about dogs.
Funny.
Aren't people funny? Sometimes, but less so on Channel 4 than they used to be. Have you noticed that? Seriously. Let's get the duck in. Hi, Doug.
Hello,
No.
Last week I won a pot noodle horn.
Yes.
And Jerry stole it. And that's why he shouldn't have the spider eat his lunch. And I want your £100.
No.
Not him.
You need to earn it. You need to say something enlightening.
Okay. Bog off.
That's a very near-the-knuckle advertising campaign, the pot noodle horn. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. I haven't got a clue what he's talking about.
Probably just as well.
Oh.
You know, I'm broad-minded. And I like things that, you know, push the envelope, as they say. That's a terrible phrase, isn't it? Push the envelope. Do you do much
it's
exec
like management speak, isn't it?
Do you get much of that?
Get a bit of it here, yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
What do you get here?
The worst one, the one I can't stand is...
There is a washing
Why
up
don't
bowl
we
here as
just
well,
park that one there?
Oh, yes.
And we'll come back to it later.
Hold that thought.
Yeah, park that one there is awful.
When I ran a department with 30 people, I found holding meetings very difficult to say to somebody who was talking rubbish to shut up. Very difficult to say that. I, in the end, had to haul them in afterwards and say, when I look at you like this, can you just give somebody else a chance? Oh, right, they said, I didn't know. So that kind of worked.
Yeah.
Hold it off.
Hello, who's on line 1?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. I'm phoning about the old guy whose neighbours
are
having the party until the moment. I just want to say to him this.
Yeah.
Louder, turn it up.
There's a great line in Seinfeld as well, where Jerry gets some neighbours move in above him and they're a rock band.
and you should lighten up slightly.
Yeah, nice one, fella.
Cheers.
Thank you. And Jerry's moaning about it, and George comes in, Costanza, and he shares Jerry's, sympathises with Jerry.
Yeah.
But then Kramer comes in. Do you ever watch Seinfeld?
No, I've seen it a couple of times.
Kramer comes in and the band's still playing upstairs, right, in the apartment, and Kramer starts kind of like nodding his head to it, and they turn to him and he just goes, "Oh, I love the one they play after this one." Funny.
Hello, who's on line 2?
It's Tony, and here was Heath.
Hello.
Your listener who wants enlightening should look within himself. Understanding oneself is enlightenment.
Are you telling this to the geezer who rang up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would do if I were you. He was a bit empty, wasn't he?
Well, he was resorting to the familiar, which is safe.
Yes.
And the known, which is reassuring.
What's the point of that?
The unknown means risks.
Absolutely.
The uncharted has no signposts.
Yep.
And a lot of people get antagonized by people who seem to be threatening their very being. A fear of change has brought about a certain dependency.
You're
Very
quite
true
right.
what you say, yeah.
And a little reassuring note for Alison is, Tommy was quoting Zhang Zi the other day, the Chinese philosopher. He also said, "A man thinks he knows, a knows better."
Very good.
Did he? Which Chinese philosopher is this?
Zhang Zi. He's the one who one night was a butterfly.
Oh, was it?
Oh.
Dreamt he was a butterfly and then woke up and wondered whether he was a man who dreamt he was a butterfly or whether he was a butterfly dreaming he was a man.
Yes, life is a dream.
Yeah. Okay, thank you for your call. There's that song, isn't there, that they sing in American fraternities, which I quite like. It's merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream.
Merrily, merrily,
up
merrily,
till
merrily,
that
life
point,
is but a dream.
up till that point, it's a perfectly ordinary drinking song. But then it goes, life is but a dream. Is it?